This is N4NT, and we ask that this frequency remain clear as we conduct the last call. WA4IAQ. 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 My fellow amateurs and members of Mountain Empire Amateur Radio Society, Jack Barbrow, WA4IAQ, has not answered his last call. As of November the 11th, 2023, WA4IAQ is a silent key. Jack was a member of the Allison Gap First Church of God in Saltville, Virginia. He was a World War II veteran of the 3rd Infantry serving in the United States Army. Jack was a member of the Saltville Volunteer Fire Department with over 55 years of service, where he held multiple positions, including chief. He retired from Olin Mathieson, where he worked as a machinist and a mechanic, and he also retired from Smyth County Vocational School as an instructor. Jack was a longtime member of MERS, and on a personal note, when I became a ham at the age of 15 and couldn't drive, Jack would pick me up and take me to the MERS meetings. Amateur radio is much more than the radios we build and buy. It is about the friendships we make on the other side of the mic. The legacy Jack leaves through his contribution to this hobby will ensure that amateurs will continue to make these connections for years to come. Long live the memory of WA4IAQ. At this time, we will observe a moment of silence, and then we will start the net. Calling the Mountain Empire 443 net, calling the Mountain Empire 443 net. Net control is N4NT. My name is Adam, and I'm located in Bristol, Tennessee. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? This net meets each Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock p.m. on the 443.000 KM4X repeater. The purpose of this net is to pass traffic through the national traffic system and to train amateurs in net procedures. All amateurs are welcome to check in. Is there any traffic for the national traffic system? Please call. Are there any announcements or bulletins for the net? Hearing none, at this time we'll take check-ins from any stations that are mobile or portable. Any mobiles or portables, please call now.
This is KD4 TMI, Jack and Abington.
All right, we've got KD4 TMI Jack. Got you checked in. Any other mobile or portable stations? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and go back up for some comments to KD4 TMI. Good evening, Jack.
Well, good evening, Adam, and everybody out there in radio land, and those that may be listening. I spent 7 hours today out mulching my yard and blowing my yard. Usually I would burn, but as we know, there's a burn ban on in Washington County, Virginia, and I would never do anything to harm myself or my neighbors or anyone else in the county. So that's how I spent my day, and let me tell you something, it was a day to behold. It was simply beautiful, and I really appreciate it. And I just hope everybody out there had a good day and has a remainder of the week. And Adam, thank you for picking up the net. This is KD4TMI.
Okay, Jack, thanks for checking in. Always good to hear you. We'll now begin taking regular check-ins. Any station that would like to check in, please call now.
WE4IAQ, Emmett in Bristol.
Kilo Delta 4, Whiskey Mike X-Ray, KD4WMX, County Quiet, Lodi.
AQ4, DCP, Jerry in South Ocean Lake.
KI4AMD, Mac in Friendship.
Net Control, please check in. KD4CCO, Sal, Bristol. Leyla doubled with somebody there, N4XRD, Ralph and Chilhowie.
KQ4IHI, Paul in Bellevue.
All right, got a good list going there. Let me clarify one real quick. Jerry, KQ4, is it, what's the last letter of your call? It's DQ, and what's the last letter?
Delta Charlie Papa.
Okay, thank you for that. I don't know where I got the Q at. I guess I was a little off kilter typing the stuff into NetLogger here. So let me recognize what I got so far. I got WE4AWJ, KD4WMX, KQ4DCP, KI4AMD, KD4CCO, N4XRD, and KQ4IHI. Any other stations?
KM4X, Gary and Chilhowie.
All right, Gary, got you on the list. We'll go ahead and go back for some comments, and if you're out there waiting to check in, we'll pick you up again here shortly. And I forgot to mention at the top, but if anybody, if you knew Jack, WA4IAQ, Jack Barbrow, if you were familiar with him, I know it's been a few years since he's been around the club, but anything you'd like to say, we are recording the net, and I'm going to try to get a hold of his family and get them a copy of it as well. So we'll start with Emmett, WE4AWJ. Good evening, Emmett.
Well, good evening, Adam, and everybody on net, and all the darkness I see. Well, first of all, I want to say condolences to the family. I know it's painful to lose, but hope spring's eternal. And I know he was appreciated much by his fellows and by the club members. We miss our brothers, sisters in the ham radio. Appreciate everything he might have done. And with that, it's been like I said, it's been a beautiful day. Kind of tired. We've been running around a lot here lately. Trying to get everything done. Of course, we're totally ready for Christmas, so don't have to do anything with that. But I've not been doing too awfully much. Got a radio program ready for the truck. Just haven't got it put in yet. And just all ready for Thanksgiving too. Hope everybody else is, and hope everybody's staying well, happy, and staying quiet in Lodi. You know, it's the time of year, you know, it's really dry up there, so if you walk really careful. You don't want to crush a leaf, make some noise. With that, I'll say 73s to everybody. Everybody have a good night, and we'll turn it back to net control. This is WE4AWQ.
All right, Emmett, thanks for checking in tonight, and appreciate the comments. And while I'm thinking about it, I'll just mention to everybody as well, the Bristol repeater 146.670 is once again a fusion repeater. It's in AMS mode, analog and fusion. Don't have a wires X node at the moment running to it, but if you want to use that repeater, it's fusion again. We've got a second repeater at that site, 147.000, and it's going to be down for a few weeks because we've sent the duplexers off to be tuned. But hopefully, when we get that done, it'll be a better repeater than it was and a good backup. All right, up next we've got Ken, KD4WMX. Good evening, Ken.
Well, good evening, Adam. Appreciate you picking up the net. This is KD4WMX, and I didn't know Jack, but I know a lot of the members that did, and I know he's a good friend of yours and awful good about taking you to the mayor's meeting. I'll say condolences to the family. It's never good when we lose another ham, but he lived a full life. I can definitely, from what I've read, definitely tell that. So, but just want to remind everybody of the mayor's meeting tomorrow night at Smyth County Old Rescue Squad building on South Park Street at 7 o'clock. And we're going to be setting up an election committee for anybody who wants to run for an office. And so the committee can get all these people written down. And not much to report. Except, hasn't been any rain, so we need some rain. We should do some of that Friday and again on Tuesday. So we'll take what we can get them when it comes to the rain. Like Emma said, you got to walk softly on the ground because leaves are making noise, and we don't like noise in quiet lowdown. But I'll say 73 to everybody, and I'll turn it back to net control. 4NT, this is KD4WMX clear.
All right, Ken, thanks for checking in tonight. And I was reminded of a memory of Jack. The 6.4 repeater used to be a lot more active than what it has been lately, and that's where I met Jack on the air anyway. I knew him from Saltville, but he always said that he was a go-getter, and the reason he said that, his wife worked at one of the textile factories in Chilhowie for a few years after Jack retired, and he would take her to work, and then in the evenings he'd go get her. So he said he was a go-getter. All right, up next we've got Jerry, KQ4DCP. Good evening, Jerry.
Good evening to everybody on the net, and my condolences to the family. Yes, I didn't know him either, and sounded like a wonderful guy. Glad he was in church. I know it's hard to lose anybody. Parents, love will definitely miss him. But I hope everybody has a good evening, and good weekend coming up.
All right, Jerry, thanks for checking in and appreciate the comments. And up next we've got KI4AMD.
Good evening, Adam, and everybody on the net. Things are sleepy here in Friendship this evening, as usual, so and there's not really much to report. I didn't discover any new interesting amateur radio things, so I'll just turn things back over to you. WA4I, this is KI4AMD.
All right, glad to hear things are good over in your neck of the woods, and appreciate you checking in with us tonight. Up next, we've got KD4CCO. Good evening, Dallas.
Well, good evening, Adam, and everybody else on the net. Yeah, it's been a pretty nice day. It's a little bit on the cool side for me. It's temperature 46 degrees over here right now, and it's still dropping, so it'll be a cool morning tomorrow morning. We don't have much to say for Jack, except that he was a good friend to have. And he was, if you need something done, you can always depend on him to volunteer to do so. So we're gonna miss him. So with that said, I'll turn it back to Net Control. This is KD4CCO.
All right, Dallas, thanks for checking in. Yeah, he sure did. I remember when I was club president and some of the activities that we had going on, he would jump right in there, and you could always depend on him. And he even several years ago, when we started kind of looking around to change up net control duties or just get people to fill in, Jack would he'd jump in there and call the net every once in a while too, and he'd do it with a legal pad and a pen, and he kept right up with everything. All right, up next we've got Ralph in for XRD. Good evening, Ralph.
Good evening. This is N4XRD. Well, I too did not actually know Jack, but he sounds like a fine fella. And we all face this same fate someday. And it's good to know that the club will talk about you and recognize you in the way that it does. I really appreciate your last call there, Adam. This is N4XRD, back to N4NT.
Well, thank you for that, Ralph, and thank you for checking in tonight and joining us there. Up next, we've got Paul, KQ4IHI.
Good evening, everybody. This is KQ4IHI. We've had a busy dog day. We've been out to the vet to get some pictures of a poor dog that's got parvo. And what a miserable disease that is. And then we're lined up tomorrow to go get 7 pups out of Bristol, plus a beagle, get it transported along with one of my fosters that's leaving tomorrow. He will probably an unhappy camper to leave, but a happy camper to find a forever family. As for Jack, I didn't know him. I'm sorry he's gone. Clearly, from what everybody's saying, he's a great guy. I'll give that back to the club. This is KQ4IHI, $73.
All right, Paul, thanks for checking in. Good to hear you tonight. And up next, we've got KM4X. Good evening, Gary.
Yeah, good evening, Adam. Rest of the crowd. I got a lot of good memories of Jack from the years past, and he was pretty active on the, as you say, the 6-4 repeater, back when that was our mainstream source of networking everybody together in those days. And kept up with him in later years through Herb. Barbrow would see him once in a while, and always asked him whenever I'd see him how Jack was doing. He'd keep you updated over those last several years when he was in failing health. But so he's one that we have good memories of from years past. And Adam, just FYI, you're running pretty low deviation. Everybody's copying you fine, and I am too, but you're down about 2.5 or maybe even 2 kc in deviation. Don't know if we got any control on that radio or not, but just for your information there. 7-3 all the way around, KM4X clear.
Okay, Gary. Yeah, thanks for checking in. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know if it has anything to do with it or not, but I was kind of back away from the mic because the way I've got everything set up here, I got a couple microphones going, so that might have been it. I may need to lean into it a little bit more, but yeah, thanks for letting me know. Appreciate the comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. All right, that brings us to the bottom of the list. We'll go ahead and open it up again. Are there any other stations that would like to check in? This is N4NT with the Mirrors 443 net.
This is KE4W Maxwell. Check in W4DWN by proxy. Probably. Looking at his eyelids, he just came back from Nashville. Down on 673 and turn back to N4NT.
All right, Ken, we got Nick on the list by proxy, W4DWN. Thanks for bringing him in there, and that brings us to the bottom of the list once again. So we'll give another call for any other stations that would like to check in. Please call now. Okay, hearing none, I just, before I go through the closing procedure, just want to say again, thank you all for checking in and the comments about Jack. He was a long-time dear friend of mine, not just through ham radio, but through the fire department up there, and with me being in the rescue squad. My dad was in the fire department with him, and just knew him for years, and he passed along a lot of knowledge, and was really a good influence on anybody that knew him. And he, when he was active in the club, he was at all the functions. He would show up sometimes with the camcorder and record things. And when I got my first job there in Saltville, he came in and recorded me working, which hopefully somebody hung on to that, because that's sort of a rare sight anymore. But anyway, he would come in and record me washing cars and stuff at the dealership there in Saltville, and parades and you name it. He probably had some really good history somewhere at his place. But anyway, he will definitely be missed, and thankful to have known him, thankful that he led the full life that he did. And with that, I will check one more time for any other stations that would like to check in. Okay, and as always, when we do a last call tribute, the silent key is listed as the #1 check-in. So with that taken into account, we had a total number of 12 check-ins tonight. Thanks to each of you for taking the time to check into the net. This is N4NT, closing the Mountain Empire 443 net and returning the KM4X repeater back to normal amateur use. 7-3, and good night.